Today we'll be reviewing the Ricoh RI1000 weekly maintenance. To review the Ricoh RI1000 weekly maintenance, we'll perform the following actions. Clean the maintenance station, the carriage, the left sump tank, the encoder, and check the rail. To perform the weekly maintenance, the supplies required will be the Ricoh Type 1 cleaning fluid, the grease included in the accessory box, cleaning applicators, and lint-free wipes. To perform the maintenance on the maintenance station, we'll come over to the nozzle check screen and perform a manual head clean. When prompted, select Yes to have the carriage move to the middle of the printer. Once that's completed, hold down the power button to power off the printer. With the printer powered off, be sure to flip the switch in the off position and remove the plug. To get started, we will lift the top cover from the center upwards towards the back. Now that we've released the carriage and opened the top cover, we can begin performing the weekly maintenance on the maintenance station. To do so, we will need the Ricoh Type 1 cleaning liquid. We will also need some cleaning applicators. To begin, we'll take a cleaning applicator that's new, open our bottle, soak our cleaning applicator, you can remove any excess. We'll begin by cleaning the wiper blade and the roller. Gently move the cleaning applicator from left to right over the roller and the wiper blade. We will continue to use the cleaning applicator that's been soaked in the Type 1 cleaning solution while cleaning the roller and the wiper, ensuring that we remove any excess or old ink that's on there. After ensuring that the roller and wiper blade have had all excess ink removed, we can move now to just behind the wiper blade to this mechanical cog and make sure that it's also free of any excess or old ink. Be sure to be gentle when cleaning this, as you can affect your maintenance station. We'll do our best to remove any excess ink. From here we'll continue on and move into these gaskets. Be very cautious, as this first gasket has a bubble breaker inside. We will continue to move towards the ink bay, making sure we remove any old ink from the gaskets. Once we've made sure that we've been able to go through the gaskets and remove any excess ink, we'll now repeat these steps with a clean and dry cleaning applicator. Now that we've removed any excess ink from the gaskets and wiper blade using our wet cleaning applicator, we'll take now a dry clean applicator and repeat these steps by cleaning the roller and removing that cleaning solution that remains on the maintenance station. I'll also clean the wiper, ensuring that it is also free of cleaning solution. If at any point your cleaning applicator becomes saturated, feel free to replace it with a new one that's dry. now that we've performed the weekly maintenance on the maintenance station, we can make our way to the left ink sump tank to make sure that it's free of any ink that may be laying on top. And now we'll perform the cleaning on the left sump tank. As part of your weekly maintenance, it's always good to make sure that your left ink sump tank doesn't have any excess ink along the top. We can use a lint-free wipe to clean the top of the grate. And now we'll perform the maintenance on the carriage. Now when cleaning your carriage, you want to make sure you do not touch the surface of the print head. It's the mirrored image or the mirrored rectangle in the center. What we want to clean is alongside the print head, in between the print heads, avoiding the surface. Be very cautious when doing so. What can help is also using a mirror underneath the carriage to ensure you avoid the print head surface. Feel free to use another cleaning applicator to continue cleaning. And now we'll perform checking the rail for any grease. If you had noticed that you had to re-grease the rail, it is suggested to go through and clean the encoder. Using a dry clean applicator, we want to remove any excess grease that is on both rails, the front and the back. Be very cautious when removing the grease from the rail to avoid any contact with the encoder. Also be sure that when you're moving your carriage out of the way, you do not go any further than the maintenance station. This will cause the carriage to crash into the wiper blade and perhaps cause some damage. If needed be, move the carriage to one side to be able to access the area where the carriage was. Continue removing any excess grease on both rails using the dry applicator. As the carriage sits on top of the rails, cleaning the underside is not required, but it is good to check. Now that the grease has been removed from both the front and the back rails, we'll take the grease included in your accessory box and we're going to apply a very small amount in 4 points of the front and back rail. Taking this small amount, add some to the rail here. Repeat that same amount. We want to try to space out one dollop from another. That way when we go to smear it, we have some space to move it around. We'll continue again by pushing out a little bit more grease. Now to the other side of the carriage, just like you did on the left side. Take out a little bit more grease and plot that there. We'll repeat these steps for the rail in the back. And if you are to get some grease on the encoder, not to worry, we'll go through and clean the encoder again after we've greased the rail. And secure the cap on your grease to prevent it from drying out. With a new clean and dry applicator, we will now smear the grease on the top half of the rail. Generously spreading the grease from end to end, ensuring a smooth travel for the carriage. Old grease buildup may cause it to stammer or get stuck Being proactive on the greasing of the rail will ensure a nice, smooth, error-free print. If need be, move the cables to the back by pressing them gently so you can access the back rail. To continue greasing the rail, gently move the carriage over in this position. And we will continue smearing the grease on the rails in a nice even fashion. Continue with the back rail. Making sure any globs of grease have been spread out along the rail. It may be a little difficult to avoid smudging the encoder strip. That is why we will go through and perform a cleaning on the encoder strip once complete. Now that we have greased the rail, we're going to want to head and travel it all the way to the end and as close as you can to the maintenance station to make sure it's a nice, smooth travel. And now we will perform cleaning the encoder. We want to make sure that there's no grease left over on the encoder and take our Rico Type 1 cleaning liquid and a new lint-free wipe. Apply a small amount of liquid to your lint-free wipe and secure the cap. To clean the encoder, what we'll want to do is fold the lint-free wipe around the encoder using your thumb and forefinger and gently move it across the encoder strip. We will do this for the length of the encoder. If need be, move the carriage over so you continue accessing the rest of the encoder. Once that's completed, taking a brand new dry lid-free wipe, you can move the carriage back to the center position, fold your lint-free wipe using your thumb and forefinger, and clean any excess cleaning solution that remains on the encoder strip. Be sure to be gentle, as you don't want the encoder strip to tear from either side. Once completed, move the carriage to the center. We can now close the top cover. With the service completed, we can now begin to power on the printer. To do so, connect your power cable and flip the power switch. With the power cable plugged in and the power switch flipped into the on position, we can now begin to power on the printer. To do so, hold down the power button for more than 3 seconds. You'll know the printer is powering on by the blue flashing light. and acknowledge the message on the screen that we've completed the maintenance. And this concludes the weekly maintenance for the Ricoh RI 1000.